Hi, I hope you're having a great day and I hope you're staying safe at home. Hope you had a great weekend. Well, today I'm going to talk about your thyroid gland. In fact, we're going to do two parts. Today I'm going to talk about an underactive thyroid gland and what you can do. And tomorrow we're going to talk about a Hashimoto's thyroid gland. Yes, there's a big difference between the two. But today let's focus on thyroid. As we speak, it is estimated in our own country in India that 1 in 7 people suffer from thyroid issues. This is not okay. You know, there's a huge gap in our healthcare system. Today, people out there believe that once they get a thyroid condition, they can never get better. So they're given a prescription with medication and they're told to be on that medication for a lifetime. I don't have a problem with the medication you're on. I don't have a problem with your prescription. The problem I have is if someone has told you that thyroid can never be reversed, how are there thousands of people around the world who have made lifestyle changes, understand why their thyroid gland is underactive, made the required changes, and today they're no longer on thyroid medication? If there are people who have not reversed their thyroid condition living out there, okay, then what is your excuse to accept what you've been told, that your thyroid gland cannot get better? The very fact is, if any gland in your body isn't working the right way, you should be the first person to try to figure out why isn't my gland working the right way and what can I do? What are the changes over and beyond allopathy that I can make? Now, if you have a thyroid problem and you're put on a medication, you must take it. There are a lot of people who have thyroid issues and they don't take thyroid medication and they get worse and worse. Remember, take the medication as a crutch. But parallelly, you need to change your lifestyle, and then your own doctor is going to reduce your medication over time. From maybe 150 to a 125 to a 100 to a 75 to a 50 to a 25, they will reduce it as your gland starts getting better and is able to produce TSH. Now, what are some of the symptoms that we see? Today we're going to talk about thyroid in general. There are so many people struggling with weight loss issues, putting on weight, unable to lose weight, skin issues, hair problems, migraines, headaches, fatigue, soft bones, osteoporosis, low libido, constantly getting infections, constant gut issues, bloating, acidity. All of these are symptoms of thyroid. And if you have these symptoms and you haven't got your thyroid gland checked, check it, because your thyroid issues or a malfunction in your thyroid gland can produce all of these issues or maybe even just one of them. Last week I had a patient with migraines for 4 years. Didn't bother to get herself checked up or even get her blood parameters done. She had thyroid issues. Her doctor put her on a thyroid medication. Within a month, every single migraine disappeared. So sometimes your migraine could be also caused because of your thyroid problem. Now, they say about 42 million people are living with thyroid issues, and they've accepted it and they go through every day taking their medications, not believing that they can do something to basically allow their glands to get better. Maybe a few people will never be able to heal it because they're never going to change their lifestyle. But for everyone else who makes these changes, there is a huge possibility that your own medication will be reduced by your doctor because your thyroid gland is getting better and better. The first time I started consulting in India, I was surprised to see all the medical reports that had only the TSH. There was no T3 and no T4 tests done. Please understand that if you only do your TSH test, it is incomplete. Because sometimes your TSH may be okay, but you have a problem with your T4, T3 conversion, and that means you still have an issue with your thyroid gland. So always get your TSH done and your T4 and your T3 as well. That gives you a complete picture. So you see, allopathy works best at suppressing a symptom. No problem with that. But if you're looking at addressing the root cause of your thyroid gland and why it is underactive or why it is overactive and why it is not working the right way, you want to address the root cause. The 3 biggest commonalities that we see in people who have thyroid issues. Number 1, poor diet. And because they have a poor diet, they are deficient in nutrients that the thyroid gland requires for proper functioning. So if your gland doesn't get the nutrients it requires, it's going to be underactive. No amount of thyroxine is going to solve your problem besides reducing the symptoms, but you're still sick with a thyroid problem. So one is poor diet, missing nutrients. The biggest issue that we see amongst our thyroid patients, men, women, and children, is stress. And we're going to talk today about how chronic stress, and when you understand how stress works in your body, right then a lot of you are going to wake up and say, that's my problem. I can take all the medicine in the world, but unless I change the way I handle stress, I am always going to have a thyroid problem. Okay, and the medicine that you take All the medicine that you take, remember, every medicine has a side effect. The quicker you get off these medications by changing your lifestyle, the better it is for you. Number one, today it is scientifically established that the more inflammation you have in your body, the more inflammation that you have slows down the conversion of T4 and T3 in your liver, which simultaneously affects the production of TSH, which is your thyroid stimulating hormone. So, the biggest fault in healthcare is we look at the human body as a car. Okay, there's a problem with the engine, we only look at the engine. We don't look at everything else. In the human body, everything is interconnected. If you only look at the thyroid gland and you don't look at the liver, okay, change your doctor. I am telling you that right now, because to help your thyroid gland heal, you must also know the health of your liver. If you don't have the right liver health, you don't have the right conversion of T4 to T3, which in turn affects your TSH. So because they give you a medicine, they're not bothered about anything else in your body. But when you look at your liver and your thyroid, for everyone who has reversed their thyroid issues, they have looked at the health of their liver. Inflammation is real. What are the inflammatory diseases? In fact, here's a little homework for you. After my video today, Google inflammatory diseases. Okay, and what will Google throw up for you? Cancer, thyroid, diabetes, Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's. Most of the diseases are inflammatory diseases caused by excess inflammation in the human body. When you have excess inflammation, it affects every part of your body and your hormones. Remember that thyroxine is a hormone, like insulin, like progesterone, like estrogen, like testosterone. These are all hormones. Hormones are communicators. They are chemical communicators between your cells. If I need a function to happen in my liver, there has to be a hormone communicating with the cell. If that communication is not proper, my liver or my kidney or my brain or some part of my body, my ovary or my endometrial lining, is not going to work the right way. If the communication is wrong, we have a problem. If the communication is right, everything works well. For that, we need hormones. So if you have a problem with your hormones, you have a problem with communication. If you have a problem with communication, you have a problem in any part of your body. Most disease today is caused by a breakdown of communication. When you see all that fat accumulating in your belly area, your midriffs or whatever, that is a breakdown in communication between your cells and your hormones. Little of it has to do with more exercise, more dieting and stuff. You've got to change the communication by changing your hormonal health. So number one, we have to look at ways of reducing inflammation. We've done a whole separate video. Drop sugar. The more sugar you have, the more inflammation you produce. If you over-exercise, you are producing more inflammation, especially people who over-exercise and do not rest and recover. That is why most of our patients today who have healed from thyroid, we have moved them from very intense workouts to light workouts. They still get the same results, but they also heal their thyroid gland. If you have a thyroid problem, you cannot be doing CrossFit. You cannot be doing intensive workouts. You can eventually do them. But first, you got to reduce inflammation and stress in your body, which is why you even change the way you exercise. Okay, let's talk about nutrient deficiencies. People who have thyroid issues have nutrient deficiencies of their B vitamins. All of their B vitamins, maybe just B12. You have a deficiency of selenium. You have a deficiency of good fatty acids that are found in the right fats. That's why a lot of women and men who go on these fat-free diets, why does their hair fall out? Why do they lose the glow in their skin? Why do they start looking older and not looking their age? Because they've created a new problem of hormone imbalance and miscommunication in their system. They have further lowered their metabolism and reduced the functioning of their thyroid gland. So do not get on the fad diets. Your gut regulates every hormone in the human body. So if you have poor gut health, if you have things like SIBO, if you have too much of gut bacteria growing, if you're constantly bloated, you will find most of these people also have thyroid issues. So you see, you can't just look at the thyroid gland, hey, your TSH is high, here, take this medicine, you're going to be good. No, you look at everything, your gut, your liver, and everything else. Okay? Most of our thyroid patients, we keep them off gluten and we keep them off dairy because these are very inflammatory foods. You may not be intolerant to it, but they are inflammatory foods. And if you have a gut issue, you are going to be advised to be off gluten and be off dairy until your gut gets better. Once it gets better, and if you're not intolerant, you can get those foods back into your plan. But while you're healing and nourishing the thyroid gland, you have to also repair the gut. Cruciferous vegetables. Okay, if you have a thyroid problem, only eat cruciferous vegetables that are steamed or well cooked. If you're doing it raw, you're going to have a problem with goitrogens and you're going to have a problem with your thyroid gland. Today, most people have moved to pink salt. Yes, I support pink salt. It's good. But if you're not having any white iodized salt, you have a big, big problem. So if you do a mix of maybe 70% pink and 30% rock salt or sea salt, that's absolutely fine for you. If your thyroid is really, really bad, you may be advised to do only iodized salt. And you should be doing that because the deficiency of iodine affects the functioning of your thyroid gland. Zinc. Most people are deficient in zinc because most people are stressed. The more stressed you are, the less zinc you have in your body. If you have less zinc, your thyroid gland cannot function. If you have less selenium, your thyroid gland cannot function. If your liver function is out of whack and you cannot convert T4 to T3, your thyroid gland cannot function the right way. So what are some of the things that we can do? Number one, understand how stress is affecting you. When I talk about stress, everyone just looks at me and says, oh, Luke, everyone has stress. And I also say that everyone can do drugs and drink alcohol and smoke cigarettes. My point is, what are you doing about it? Enough of excuses. Yes, everyone is stressed. Now, what are you going to do about it? Understand, the more cortisol you have, when we get stressed, we produce cortisol. Our adrenal glands produce adrenaline, cortisol. It's good for us. A little bit of cortisol, a little bit of adrenaline is great for our immune systems. It helps us to react. It helps us to think, clarity of thought. The problem is when you are chronically stressed, you wake up and you go to sleep stressed throughout the day. You're emotionally stressed. Your work is stressing you out. Your relationships are stressing you out. It is not worth it. Let me tell you what happens. When your cortisol is elevated because you're chronically stressed, your thyroid gland automatically reduces the production of TSH. So here you are with your doctor giving you more thyroxine. Okay, but here you are with high stress levels that is causing your thyroid gland to produce less thyroxine. So what happens if you fix your stress? Your thyroid gland automatically starts doing its job. It is not underactive. It is underactive because we're not doing the right things. What else happens? When your cortisol goes up, thyroxine falls down. Your DHEA, which is a very powerful hormone, also falls down. Now you have low levels of thyroxine and you have low levels of DHEA. Now because you have low levels of DHEA, your testosterone falls. What happens when your testosterone falls? You have more body fat. You have less muscle. All of that fat in your stomach area, abdominal area, navel area, okay, is the fat that you have when you have less testosterone. So something as simple as stress levels causes all of this. It doesn't end there. Your progesterone also falls. Now you all know what happens when your progesterone falls. Whether you're trying to conceive, whether you have PCOD, whatever it is. You have a complete hormone imbalance. We'll add more to it. Cortisol also affects thyroxine, which also affects insulin. So there is an indirect or direct connection between people who are insulin sensitive, insulin resistant, diabetic, and have thyroid problems. So eventually, if you have a thyroid problem that you do not take care of, it is going to affect your insulin at some point. Okay, let's get straight into solution mode. The number one thing destroying your thyroid gland, besides your stress levels, is your refined oils. We have loaded up on polyunsaturated fats like your soybean oil, your corn oil, your sunflower oil, all of your vegetable oils. Please understand, okay, these are bad oils for you. Do you know what they feed animals and chickens to fatten them up? Okay, you need to fatten up cattle. You need to fatten up chickens because they all sell by weight. They feed them soybean. They feed them feed with soybean oil to make them fat. Now you as a human being, does that make sense for you to eat? Does it even make a little bit of sense to eat food that is used as a fattening agent for cattle, for cows, for chicken, and you eat that kind of oil? Okay, let's understand this polyunsaturated oil is creating inflammation in your body. It is disrupting communication between your hormones and your cells. It is not helping you with liver function. In fact, the refined oils are producing more inflammation. Your liver enzymes are lesser and lesser. Your conversion of T4 to T3 produces enzymes to break down fat into energy, which is why when people talk about fat loss, I can't lose weight, the first thing I think about is your liver, because your liver has the function of converting fat into energy. If your liver is not working the right way, you are not converting fat into energy. For that, the enzymes to create fat, to convert fat into energy, comes from your T4 to T3 conversion. This is why people with thyroid issues struggle to lose weight. They feel lethargic. They feel tired all the time because you have a problem in your liver. Whenever your liver is compromised, you feel lethargic, you feel lazy, you feel demotivated, and all of that stuff because your liver isn't working. So now does it sound like you have an issue only with your thyroid problem, and should you only be looking at your TSH, or should you also be looking at your T3, your T4, and your liver function? So refined oils, please get rid of that. You can have great TSH, but you still have all the symptoms of a thyroid problem. That's why check your T4 and T3, and then you realize that your T3 or your T4 is out of whack. But your TSH is okay, but you have all the symptoms of a thyroid patient. That's because you failed to look at the health of your liver. So look at your T4, T3. Now, what do we do? Like when we look at thyroid glands, I spoke about zinc, I spoke about selenium. Selenium, a malfunctioning thyroid gland is deficient in selenium. Without selenium, your thyroid gland cannot function the right way. So I'm not going to talk about foods rich. Today is just a concept. We'll give you a link where you can find all the foods rich in selenium and everything else. But if you don't have selenium, so most of our thyroid patients and most of the patients who heal from thyroid conditions have made sure that they have the right oils, the right fats, zinc, selenium, and the B vitamins. You can get this from your foods, or you can get it prescribed by your doctor or your nutritionist in the form of a supplement. Now, when it comes to your liver, why is coconut oil a miracle oil for your liver? Because coconut oil is a medium chain triglyceride. Coconut oil, unlike all other fats, it converts directly into energy in your liver. So that fat converts directly into energy. It nourishes your thyroid gland. It nourishes your liver. It is what is required for the conversion of T4 to T3. Please understand that. So coconut oil plays a huge role in you healing your thyroid condition. Now, just don't go out there and start drinking coconut oil. It has to be planned for you. Because if you're taking coconut oil somewhere in your diet, you've got to cut down the other oil that you're taking. Otherwise, you're going to have too much of fat and too much of oil. And anything that's good for you in excess is also bad for you. So let's understand that coconut oil is great for your metabolism in the liver. Okay, coconut oil works differently from other fats. It converts from fat into energy, which means when you have coconut oil, it is utilized as energy immediately, unlike all other fats. Okay? Now, what else? Sleep. If you are sleep deprived, please understand the incredible stress that you put on your body. You wake up with high cortisol because you were sleep deprived. I don't know a single thyroid patient who can ever heal without correcting their sleep. And we have had patients, by only correcting their sleep, in a month, their doctors are dropping their medication. Because sleep deprivation produces more cortisol. Like I said, cortisol prevents your thyroid gland from producing the right amount of TSH. It also inhibits conversion of T4 to T3 in your liver. And in fact, it inhibits T4, T3 conversion and actually converts your reverse T3 in your liver, which is actually bad for you. So your sleep, it comes down to lifestyle, poor diet, absence of key nutrients, zinc, selenium, medium chain triglycerides, good fatty acids, and your B vitamins. And it comes down to stress. These are the three things that if you work with, you have the possibility of making your thyroid condition way, way better. Exercise. If you are a thyroid patient, exercise, but not intensely. You have to understand one of the reasons most people have thyroid issues and why stress is connected. When we are stressed, the body is moving too fast. You are pushing that brain. You are pushing your emotions. You are pushing your physical body with lack of rest, lack of respect to your body. How does your body slow you down? Because your body cannot always adapt to your fast-paced life. It slows you down by slowing down your metabolic gland, which is your thyroid function. So when you're moving too fast in life, your thyroid gland will automatically slow you down by reducing the production of TSH. And that is how stress is connected. So if you're intensely working out, you are also reducing the amount of TSH. So work out well, but listen to your body. Trying to punish the weight of your body by intensely working out is not going to help your thyroid gland. So everyone who reverses their thyroid gland, they go back to walking, yoga, push-ups, squats, very light. As their thyroid function starts getting better and better, of course you can go into more intense workouts. But please understand, when it comes to your thyroid gland, if you are not doing these things, okay, your medication can only make your blood parameters look good. They can only suppress your symptoms. After a while, you need a higher dose of medication because your body's become immune to your previous dose. By the time you're 60 or 70 or 80, can you imagine what your dosage of thyroxine is going to be and how many other conditions you have because you never made changes of your thyroid gland that controls multiple hormones and functions in the human body. So please understand, these are the things that you need to do. You got to get your MCTs in place, your nutrients in place, and you got to figure out how to reduce your stress, because stress is not helping you. Yes, everyone has stress, but when we learn to meditate, when we learn to accept, when we learn to let go, when we learn not to be over ambitious and take more on our plate in life just because everyone else is doing it, have a mind of your own. Most people who are stressed do not have a mind of their own. They are constantly comparing their lives with other people. They don't have their own self-worth, so they have to constantly do to feel good about themselves. And you destroy your own thyroid gland. So is thyroid conditions reversible? 100% if you do it the right way. Now some people, they have a different kind of thyroid issue or they go through thyroid cancers. So like I said, most cases people can make lifestyle changes and work with their doctors to reduce their medication and get off. Tomorrow we are going to talk about a Hashimoto's thyroid. It's sad that millions of people are living with a Hashimoto's thyroid and they don't even know it. And the beauty about a Hashimoto's thyroid is there's a lot that you can do, more than an underactive gland, to make your condition better. And if you don't understand you have a Hashimoto's thyroid, which is autoimmune, your own autoimmune condition can be causing you multiple serious issues because you've ignored what the root cause of your problem is. So go out there today and make that change. Don't just start popping zinc, popping iodine, popping B vitamins and all of that stuff. Get yourself assessed, check your levels and get it professionally done. But can you make a difference with your thyroid gland? Absolutely yes. Should you be doing it? Absolutely yes, because I don't know how people are okay with a gland in their body not functioning the right way. If it's your destiny, fine. But if you're not doing the right things, you should be doing the right things because your thyroid gland controls everything we spoke about and more. And you want your body to be functioning the right way. So make these lifestyle changes and change your mindset. Just because the medical world tells you something's not possible, it doesn't mean you believe it. Because my question to you is, I'm not against the medical world. I have doctors on my team. Always my argument and debate is, if you have thyroid and you're on medication, how come there are thousands of people who have gotten off their medication? Strive to be those people. Strive to find out what they did and make that change. Just don't accept everything at face value. You should love your body. You should love your health so much that you want it to be done the right way. Have a great day, everyone. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, and breathe deep.